Alrighty. Here we are. Here we are again. Oh yeah. Hi, welcome back to Christy Gray Scarlet Pen. Today I'm doing part 1 of 2. I am looking at my worst and best rated books of 2022. As we look towards 2023, it's always fun to look back and see what did hit, what did not. I was looking for the word I was looking for and then, anyway, it sounded weird. Whatever. Alright, so we're doing the first part, which is my worst rated books of the year. And I went back and looked at all of my ratings and I sort of stuck with books that were like 1s and 2s, stars out of 5 or whatever. That's what I picked for this video. So, let me get my lens. So, I haven't looked at any of my old reviews on why I thought they were so crap. Okay, maybe I shouldn't say crap. I haven't looked at any of my reviews to see why I didn't like them, but I am going to go off of memory. I also don't want these videos to be super long because what's the point, you know, like, especially with the worst rated ones, why do we care why it was so bad? But anyway, whatever. So, let's go. I think there was only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's only 5 worst rated. I have way more best rated, so that's a plus. So let's go with this list. I actually only have the physical copy of 2 out of 5 because the other ones were different formats. So I read Heart of Red and Blood of Blue. That was an audiobook, so I don't actually have it with me. So Heart of Red, Blood of Blue is a fantasy, sort of dystopian world fantasy story. There's a world where there is a bunch of kingdoms that are all near each other, and they all have colours for their kingdoms that they sort of sport. You have the red kingdom, green, blue, and I think something else maybe. And so the main character is an albino princess. She is one of like 15 and her entire family is being hunted and killed, all of her siblings, by someone from the blue kingdom. And so she's going to try and save her kingdom while also, you know, albino people are really just treated very, very poorly in this sort of medieval type world. And also, you know, there's a guy who's hunting her down to try and kill her, like her siblings. And so, yeah, it sounded really interesting. It sounded really good. From what I can recall as to why I didn't like it, it was very slow. The characters didn't feel super believable necessarily. I didn't believe the romance that was in this book. I didn't buy into it. There was a couple of different reasons why I didn't really like it. I was listening to the audiobook for this one, and I put it on double speed and made it through to the end. I think from what I can recall, the last, like, maybe hour of this recording was the best. And I wished that the first sort of most of the book had been really cut, because that last bit was the best. So that didn't make it super high on the list. The second one that I didn't really enjoy, I do actually have in physical copy, and it was The Princess by Laurie Wick. So this book, the reason I just did not like this book whatsoever, it was so slow. So slow. It's a story about a normal girl who marries a prince, but he's getting over his dead wife. And they got married really young. They're all still really young, and it's sort of an arranged marriage situation. And so she's technically married to this guy, but she's trying to be a princess. She's a really nice girl, but he's not really interested in getting to know her at all at the moment, because he's still grieving and what have you. And so she's just trying to navigate being a princess in this kingdom. It's not an actual established kingdom in real life, and it's sort of. Another reason why this didn't really make it high on the list is this book is super, super, super preachy, okay? Like, I like Christian fiction, but this is like preachy your butt off. Every single page, every single chapter. Oh, but what does the Lord want me to do? Oh, and I just feel like I'm failing God. Just all, it's way too preachy and way too slow for me. I did not enjoy this book really at all. I am keeping it though because it is a beautiful cover. Really the only reason why I'm keeping that book. Okay, next. 12 Angry Men was the next one I read. I borrowed that from the library, and I feel like a lot of the reasons why I didn't really like this book is because it's a play, and it was more, it's a play. I read it as a play because that's how it's written. I think too that it lost some of its magic. I really enjoyed the movie. I believe I did a book versus movie video for this one. But yeah, I just, the book just did not, it didn't hold my attention very well. I just didn't enjoy it. Okay, so second last one was The Princess Diaries. Oh my gosh. I did also do a book versus movie for this book as well. Princess Diaries, the movie with Anne Hathaway and Julie Andrews. I love that movie. I think it's great. The book was really quite different. So in the book we have, okay, so in the Princess Diaries movie, you've got girl who finds out that secretly she was a princess and her dad has died, and so now she's got to go with her grandmother and see about if she wants to become a princess. She's going to try and take princess lessons. She's going to try and be a princess for this made-up world, Genovia. I have just realized my light is not on. I just sat on this book and it was really painful. Okay, I hope the lighting is better and it wasn't too bad before. But anyway, it is what it is. In the book, her dad's alive and comes to get her. Her grandmother is an absolute piece of work. I just can't even describe how not Julie Andrews she is. It's not super enjoyable. I didn't like it. The books are sort of split up into multiple sort of shorter books. It is supposed to be for like younger readers, and so maybe that's why, whereas I feel like the movie sort of spoke a bit more to a broader age range of people. But yeah, I really didn't like it. The characters did not pull me in. I did not like them. They weren't it for me. And the last book I own as well. This is the last book that really did not do it. 1 or 2 stars. I think this was just 1 star. Synapse by Stephen James. It did not do it for me. This year, interestingly enough, I read this at the beginning of the year and I read another book at the end of the year, which is hilarious timing. They both sort of covered this idea of artificial intelligence beings and how that relates to what happens with the soul. Because as a Christian, you know, you believe that something happens with your soul and your spirit when you die, but when you're an artificial intelligence, would that apply and how would that even look? And so this book with Synapse did not win. There is another book and I will be talking about it because it was a 5-star read for me in my best rated video tomorrow. But this one, I just didn't win. It did not do it for me. I found the world that was created in this where they had like the technology to have artificial intelligent beings created by humans. I found it intriguing. Like the world itself was relatively interesting, like all of the advanced tech and that sort of stuff was interesting. It was really cool to see. But the story that was within that world, I just didn't enjoy. Like we have a woman who has literally like just had a stillbirth and is in the days and there's an explosion and people are trying to kill these artificial intelligent robots essentially, but that look really human. And there's this huge debate and huge war over what the heck rights that these artificial beings have. They don't have a human soul spirit. They just don't have it. They've got a consciousness, but then when they die or when they get, you know, switched off or whatever, what happens to them? And and I think the debate in this was artificial intelligence has to be able to have a similar experience to humanity in that they need to know that there's an afterlife, because otherwise they would not act in a way that is appropriate for society, because what the heck do they care? Like, why wouldn't they murder humans? Why wouldn't there be like an AI uprising if they don't have to worry about what happens when they die anyway? And so there's this understanding a place where they can be uploaded when they die or they get, you know, just turned off or whatever. And so there's this sort of mystery that goes on like beneath the surface with this girl and this android who she didn't want. I don't actually remember what they call themselves. They're called artificials, sorry. It's been so long since I've read this book, like almost a year. But I just didn't like the story. It was very slow. I felt like this was not preachy necessarily, but I felt like the idea explored about, you know, what happens with humanity when they die and sort of that, how that process would work for us versus something that's created by us. It was interesting, but I don't think it was handled very well, and I didn't like it, and I didn't think he did well in exploring it and in bringing that to a reader's thought process. So this didn't win for me, and I am actually unhauling this book. It is in my unhauling pile because it's just, which is a shame because I really was excited for it, but I just really didn't enjoy it and I didn't like it at all. So boo, very sad about that, but what can you do? You can't win them all. Okay, that was my worst rated books. They were all between 1 or 2 stars each, but don't worry, tomorrow I have my best rated books of the year, which is so exciting to talk about those. So don't miss out tomorrow, and I'll see you in the adventures.